Too greasy.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another disaster video here. This is the differential out of the kit car, which you have very kindly removed from the kit car.
Yep, at the cost of one shin, but...
One shin? Let's have a look at that shin. And I had the pleasure of witnessing that accident,
You did.
And I noticed you looked at me immediately to see if I'd noticed. One of them, innit?
Not to.
Well, as you can see, I am unscrewing the ends here with the correct tool.
Oh, yes.
That is tight. And we have found the problem.
We have.
And it is what problem I thought it would have been.
Yep.
Now, I have had this diff apart. Well, I've sort of had it
2 or 3 times, isn't it?
about 3 times, yeah. Turns out that I had actually made a solid washer for this, and that was the first time that I had built this diff. That was probably the reason why the second time, which was the last time, and I tried holding the front, that the crush washer wouldn't crush up.
So you were trying to hold on this little flat, set of flats, and it was just a bit, one of those where it's all a little bit mullered and hard to hold on.
That's probably why it wouldn't crush up, because it ain't a crush washer.
Yeah,
but
forgot you'd done that, I suppose.
I don't think I did that right, mate, to be honest. I think there's more meat to come off there. I don't think I've got the correct preload, so we're going to have to go through all that, make sure we do it properly. But the problem why the diff failed this time, so we had a shed load of end flow, didn't we, like this?
Yeah, because basically this nut...
Oh, look at you. You're happy to tell them, aren't you?
No, I'm just saying that nut was a bit, it had sort of worked its way loose, whether it was...
It did work its way loose. Yeah. I literally undone it with my fingers without even using a socket.
So
the reason was, which I did sort of think in my head that maybe that is the reason, is in here, look, you can see a couple of grooves.
Right.
There. And what you're meant to do is when you tighten it up, you're meant to hit this nut down and sort of key it into those grooves so it doesn't undo itself like it did.
Oh, right.
Because I didn't do that.
Happens, doesn't it?
So yeah, shed loads of movement. Knackered pinion. Crown wheel don't look too bad, but I've ordered a new, not a new, but a second-hand diff with a good crown wheel and pinion in it.
Yeah.
7-inch Sierra diff, which will arrive either tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, so did we say it was a Scorpio or a Granada diff to start
I thought
with?
it was a Granada diff, which is a 7.5 inch.
Yeah.
Not sure whether they do a 7 in there.
So since the last video, we've realised it ain't that one.
Yeah.
But the guy who was selling the Granada one also had the Sierra.
Well, yeah, I didn't know that. I bought it for 350 quid.
Yeah.
And I had to cancel it. So I messaged him on Facebook saying, very, very sorry, I've had to cancel it because obviously I didn't realise that I didn't have a 7.5 and it's a 7. And he said, what ratio do you need? And I said, a 3.62. He said, funnily enough, I got one of them.
Ideal.
Which he did me for 250 quid.
So 100 quid less.
250 quid if it's a good crown wheel and pinion, which is all I need in it, then jobs are good, isn't it? Right, guys. Got the camera set up here on my own because Isaac's gone home. It is actually 20 past 5 and I'm on my own here at the moment. Right, piston to wall clearance. I'm sure I've gone on about this before, guys, but you can't go on about techie stuff like this and factual stuff and important stuff too many times, can you? Especially if there's a few of you out there learning from this, whatever you can learn from us. Anyway, piston to wall clearance. Usually when someone brings a rebore into us or a block to be rebored, when we turn around and say, if you're getting your own pistons, we need the pistons to be able to finish the block. Sometimes they look at us in a bit of a surprise and think, well, how come? And there is a reason for that. Most pistons these days, they give a metric finished size. So that will be, they give you 2 sizes, one for the piston, one for the finished bore. So that is the finished size that you finish the bore to. Or they will give you the bore size and the running clearance. So this here is a Marla piston. So this is an original item for a Cosworth in 0.5 oversize. Okay, so the size for this is, on the box, we have 91.325. Now, we know that usually original pistons, original items are pretty close, but aftermarket stuff can be a bit hit and miss. And what I mean by that is they'll give a finish size, and this is why we ask for the piston, so we need to double check, measure the piston and get the right running clearance. Usually they'll give a bore size and you measure across the skirts here where it says to, probably sort of 10 mil up, wherever it suggests to, and the piston will be less the running clearance. So if, let's work in metric, say for example it's a 91.325 piston and they give 0.05 of running clearance, then that piston across here will measure 91.32, okay? And that basically means that 0.05 is 2 thou, pretty much. Usually, as I say, on original items, that will be correct. Now, if I just confirm that with this piston here, we'll take a micrometer. So this is a 3 to 4 micrometer, and you do need to use a micrometer and make sure it's calibrated and reading correctly, because obviously these are very accurate. So what we do with these micrometers is a little clicker at the end, and that is your torque gauge really. So if you turn it on that, you know that you're not over tightening it once that starts to click, okay? And just make sure that you get it across the plane where it should be. And looking at that there, we have, this is imperial now, 3.5935. So 3.5935, okay? Now, if we take the bore size, which it reckons it should be, 91.325, so 91.325 divided by 25.4 gives us imperial. That is 3.5955. So if we take 2 thou from that, which it reckons that it's 0.05 in metric, which is 2 thou running clearance in imperial, that is 3.5935, which is exactly what this piston measures. So we know that we have to bore it to exactly 91.325, and we will have the correct running clearance. We normally go half a thou above that, mind, but yeah, that is what we have to bore it to. So we know that those marlers are as they say. Now, where the problem arises is for my Cosworth engine, and that is the block sitting there, the 200 block that I put the liners in. Now, we are running standard size here because I bored it back to standard with the liners, and we are using a long rod, a Bridgeway long rod short piston setup, and the piston we are using is the IAPL, which are a good piston, very good spec. Now, if we measure the IAPLs, on the box, it says the piston should measure 90.75, which is 90.75. I'm converting to imperial, and the reason for that is because our micrometers are imperial. So 90.75 divided by 25.4 is 3.573, pretty much. So that is what our piston should measure. Let's measure that. Piston is actually measuring 3.5745. So it's actually measuring 1.5 thou bigger than what it says it should be measuring. Now it says that the bore should be 90.83, so that in theory should be giving us just over 3 thou running clearance really. So that would be 90.83. If we go 90.83 divided by 25.4 gives us 3.576. So if we bored it to that, with what the piston measures, we'll only be getting 1.5 thou running clearance, yet they're saying we need to run just over 3. With our extra 0.5 thou, it would be about 3.5 thou. So we're going to be 1.5 thou out, guys. So that is exactly what I have bored it to. If we just adjust this camera, you'll be able to see, and this is why you should measure. So although these bores are 1.5 thou tight, as in the running clearance it should be running, if we put a piston down there, look, that feels absolutely fine. So you would be fooled into thinking, if you just sent it to a machine shop without the pistons, and they bored it to what the box suggested or what the IAPL suggested, you're going to be 1.5 thou tight. It would run, but for how long, I don't know. And then people wonder why it's going to pick up. So I hope that is clear, guys. I don't know whether my explanation was too clear. But yeah, just a little lesson to be learned. Do measure the piston, no matter what the brand, how much they are, how good they're meant to be. Measure the piston and then do the bore. Find out what the running clearance is meant to be and do the running clearance to suit what the piston measures, not just what the box says. Very important, especially on the aftermarket stuff.
That's the Quaife LSD.
That's right.
Is it an ATB?
It's an ATB type, yes, which we are very impressed with.
Yeah, we like it.
In these lighter vehicles, they seem to be the dog's danglies, don't they?
Yeah.
So I have ordered a tool, actually, a correct tool to undo these, and that's going to save me snapping any more lugs off. I'm hoping on the other diff that I've got, it's got good ones of these, because I've mullered it a bit, mate.
Oh well.
Never mind.
Thing is, we're not diff builders, are we?
We ain't diff builders,
really,
no, but...
Not really totally sure on these, but...
This is very tight, so I'm going to have to try and sort that out. So yeah, that is the...
so that's the issue.
That's the issue with the diff. So what I'm going to do is order new bearings, new seals.
Yeah.
And a new, obviously I'll have another pinion in it.
Yeah.
Just transfer the Quaife
So really,
ATB over,
really the pinion is the issue.
The pinion is mullered on the end. Basically, it undone itself so much that you noticed that. The only thing that stopped the pinion coming any further this way forward is it's sitting on there.
Nice few marks
so
on
it's
there.
No wonder it sounded horrendous.
Oh well.
And I'm lucky it didn't shat itself and lock the back wheels up.
And to be fair, it could also be, maybe it isn't that nut wasn't done up properly, although yeah, the tab should have been knocked in, but it could be that it's a solid prop, there's no rubber anywhere, and it's going to find a weak point, isn't it? The vibrations, one way or another, something's going to come loose unless you sort of dial everything in.
Do you reckon that's what it could be?
So it could be that, yes, all right, maybe that weren't up as tight as it needed to go, but it's not really bushed, is it? So it's just sort of...
it has got the rubber inner, so it's got the torque tube, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's
which in effect is a bit of give.
But there's no donut.
There's no donut. There's a donut in the middle, which is a bearing rubber, but there's no rubber coupling, if you like.
Yeah, just like a bearing, basically.
But
could have been worse. It's all good.
Could have been worse.
Cheap second-hand bits. All cheap enough.
No, it's cheap enough, isn't it, mate? And if it cures it, job done.
Yeah.
These things happen, and at least, like we say, from the diff upwards, it all seems to be okay.
Yeah.
So, hopefully. And that's all I've got to say about that, mate. So there we go, guys. Another techie lesson. Hope it was useful, and we'll see you in another video. Thank you very much.